Top natural gas consumers in the world. Number 10. Germany. Germany is the fourth largest natural gas consumer in the world, behind the United States, Russia, and China. It is the largest natural gas consumer in Europe and is the second largest consumer of natural gas in the European Union, behind France. In 2018, Germany consumed 79.7 billion cubic meters, BCM, of natural gas. The majority of Germany's natural gas demand is met by imports, with over 90% of the country's natural gas supply coming from Russia and Norway. Germany is also increasing its reliance on renewable energy sources and has plans to phase out its use of coal and nuclear power. In 2018, renewable energy accounted for more than one-third of Germany's gross final electricity consumption. Number 9. Mexico. Mexico is the world's fourth largest consumer of natural gas, after the United States, Russia, and China. In 2019, the country consumed an estimated 109 billion cubic meters, BCM, of natural gas, up from 105 BCM in 2018. The bulk of Mexico's natural gas consumption is attributed to the industrial sector, 57%, followed by the residential, 25%, commercial, 13%, and electricity generation, 5%, sectors. Mexico's imports of natural gas have increased significantly over the past decade, particularly from the U.S., in order to meet the growing demand. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA, 58% of the country's total imports of natural gas were sourced from the U.S. in 2019, while the remainder was sourced from Canada and domestic production. In addition, Mexico is also a major producer of natural gas. In 2019, domestic production of natural gas in the country stood at around 48 BCM. Number 8. Japan. Japan is one of the world's top natural gas consumers, with an average of around 80 billion cubic meters, BCM, consumed per year. Japan is heavily reliant on natural gas imports to meet its energy needs, importing more than 99% of its natural gas needs. In 2018, the majority of Japan's natural gas imports came from Qatar, about 25%, Australia, about 24%, Malaysia, about 11%, and Indonesia, about 10%. Japan has also begun diversifying its natural gas imports, with the addition of the United States, Brunei, and Russia in recent years. Japan is pursuing a number of strategies to ensure a reliable supply of natural gas, including utilizing alternative sources such as liquefied natural gas, LNG, and liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, from other countries, as well as expanding its domestic power generation capacity to include natural gas-fired power plants. Number 7. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is one of the top natural gas consumers in the world, due in large part to the country's heavy reliance on the energy source for industrial and residential purposes. In 2020, it was estimated that Saudi Arabia consumed around 9.7 billion cubic meters of natural gas, making it the fifth largest consumer in the world. The country's increased demand is largely due to the rising population, industrial growth, and the government's focus on diversifying the economy away from traditional oil sources. In recent years, the government has made large investments in natural gas production in order to ensure a steady supply of the fuel. In addition, the country is developing its gas infrastructure to connect domestic markets and improve access to cheaper natural gas from abroad. The government has also made efforts to encourage the development of renewable energy sources, such as solar and wind power, to reduce the country's reliance on natural gas. These initiatives are expected to reduce the country's consumption of natural gas in the long term. Number 6. Canada. As one of the world's leading producers of natural gas, Canada is also among its largest consumers of natural gas. According to the International Energy Agency, Canada consumed a total of 92,326,000 cubic meters of natural gas in 2018, making it the fourth largest consumer of natural gas in the world. The majority of Canada's consumption is primarily for residential and commercial heating, followed by industry and electric power generation. In 2019, the country generated 33.4% of its electricity from natural gas. Natural gas is also extensively used for industrial and transportation applications in Canada. The country is served by an extensive pipeline network, which connects major gas reserves with consumers. Canada also exported a large amount of natural gas to the United States in 2018, making it the second largest natural gas exporter in the world. Number 5. Iran. Iran is the third largest consumer of natural gas in the world, behind the United States and Russia. Iranian natural gas consumption was estimated at over 500 billion cubic meters, 17,700 billion cubic feet, in 2020, representing around 5% of global consumption. Most of Iran's natural gas supplies come from its own domestic production, with approximately two-thirds extracted from the South Pars North Dome gas condensate field in the Persian Gulf. This field is one of the world's largest natural gas reserves and is shared with Qatar. The remaining one-third of Iran's natural gas supply comes from imports, with Turkmenistan being its primary source. Iran's natural gas consumption is primarily used in the industrial and residential sectors, with the majority going towards power generation and heating. It is also used in the transportation sector as compressed natural gas, CNG, which is used to power vehicles. Iran is also an exporter of natural gas, with its main trading partners being Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iraq. Number 4. China. China is the largest consumer of natural gas in the world, accounting for over 20% of global production in 2020. This is largely due to the nation's rapidly expanding energy needs as it continues to modernize. In 2020, China consumed roughly 296 billion cubic meters of natural gas, up from 263 BCM in 2019. This number is expected to increase in the coming years, as the country continues to develop its domestic resources and diversify its energy mix. China has some of the largest natural gas reserves in the world, and is increasingly turning to this fuel as a clean and cost-effective way to provide energy to its growing population. Additionally, the country is investing heavily in natural gas infrastructure, including pipelines, liquefied natural gas, LNG, terminals, and storage facilities. These efforts are part of China's goal to reduce its reliance on coal, and ultimately improve air quality and reduce emissions. Number 3. Russia. Russia is the world's top natural gas consumer, accounting for more than a quarter of global consumption in 2019. Russia has the world's largest natural gas reserves and is the largest producer and exporter of natural gas in the world. In 2019, Russia produced 717 billion cubic meters of natural gas, the highest amount ever recorded, and provided around 25% of global natural gas demand. Russia has a vast and complex pipeline system that traverses the continent, including pipelines to Europe and Asia. The natural gas industry in Russia is highly integrated, with major companies such as Gazprom, Novatek, and Rosneft controlling most of the production and exports of natural gas. Russia is also a major exporter of liquefied natural gas, LNG, with exports to Europe and Asia increasing significantly in recent years. Number 2. European Union. The European Union is one of the world's top natural gas consumers, accounting for roughly 18% of total global consumption. This is due to the fact that natural gas is a highly reliable, efficient, and clean source of energy. Moreover, many countries in the EU have made a commitment to reducing their emissions of greenhouse gases, and natural gas is one of the key options for achieving those goals. The majority of natural gas consumed in the EU is imported, and the main suppliers are Norway, Russia, Algeria, and Qatar. The majority of this gas is transported via pipelines, though some countries, such as the UK, also import liquefied natural gas, LNG. In recent years, the EU has been promoting the use of natural gas as part of its wider energy policy, which seeks to increase energy security, reduce emissions, and promote the use of renewable energy sources. Number 1. United States. The United States is the world's largest consumer of natural gas, accounting for nearly 20% of global consumption. The majority of natural gas in the US is used to generate electricity, with the balance going to residential and commercial heating and industrial uses. Natural gas consumption in the US has been increasing steadily since the mid-2000s, driven largely by a combination of low prices and higher efficiency gains. In 2020, the US consumed over 27 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, the highest level in over 30 years. In 2019, the US accounted for 23% of total global natural gas consumption, ranking it as the world's largest consumer. The top 5 natural gas consuming countries in the world, in order, are the United States, Russia, China, Iran, and Canada. Thanks for watching. That was the top natural gas consumers in the world. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more fun curiosities from around the world. See you next time.